everyone, it's Sami from Sami's Sweet Life, and today is going to be my combined May and June budget update. I did film my April budget video in late May. Totally didn't do any sort of editing in June because of the vacation and a hiatus. And then finally in July I edited it, so it should be up by now. And then when you see this, we will be caught up officially for budget updates. Again, I have some good news and bad news, just like in the April budget update. We're gonna just walk through May first, we'll walk through June, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. So for May, we had a major expense come out. The other half of our vacation rental came out. We did rent a beach house for 2 weeks, so it was pretty hefty. We also bought SeaWorld tickets because that was one of our June adventures. We went to SeaWorld. So I bought the tickets in May because they were half price during that time. So overall, during the month of May, our travel expenses came out to $2,069.21. So that chunk came out in May. And with that said, we did not hit our goal number. In fact, we were in the red for the second time this year, which, oh, it hurts to see that. It's just the month actual numbers, like the income and everything that came out during only that month. It's an isolated month incident. We are still way ahead in the positive as far as savings goes for the year, even with now the 2 months into the negative in those specific months. So it was a really bad month overall, still doing good for the year. But yeah, I just absolutely hate to see the numbers in the red for the month. When I'm adding everything up and subtracting everything and seeing that negative at the end, I was like, the whole month is ruined, you know? But I had to keep in mind that that was a major part of our travel expenses coming out. So even though we're up for the year, we're definitely still under my yearly savings goal projected where we should be by the end of May. And actually, even through the end of June, we're still off that target. We have a lot of time to catch up, but that's where my mind goes when I see the negative. It's like, this whole budget is ruined. So anyway, I'm gonna walk through the categories. For groceries, we were only over by $13.58, which was much, much better than last month. Over by $13 is not that big of a deal. And then for tech, I don't know if I've talked about this specifically. We do have a technology category, and that counts our cell phone bill and also any digital purchases aside from digital purchases for books. Like I have been purchasing the Game of Thrones book, so I've been counting that as my allowance. But otherwise, like if it's any sort of movie rental or movie purchase, it comes out of that tech category. And I think it's set up to be just like $80 or $85. And again, that includes our cell phone bill. Actually, in the coming months, our cell phone bill is gonna go up, which I'll talk about when the time comes, whatever update we're on. But we went over in that tech category by $17.82, and most of the time I don't even talk about this category because we're so far under it. We're usually at least like $15 under that category, but I wanted to mention it because I don't know if I've actually talked about that category. So this also counts for music. So if we have any kind of music purchases on iTunes and stuff, it comes out of the same technology category, and we try to keep it low. We try to look for free options when possible, but one of the things we love to do is rent movies off of Amazon Prime. It's like $4 a movie to get the HD version, and it's awesome. So we can just rent them straight from our TV. I'm not gonna lie, that's some of our best date nights, just snuggling up, having some popcorn and watching, you know, whatever movie it is that we found. And since we are Amazon Prime members, there are a lot of free movies on there. We also have Hulu, so there are a couple of movies on there. And occasionally through the Roku, we can find free movies on other random weird apps. So we do that sometimes as well, but that's definitely something we look forward to. We just have that technology category in place so that we can put things on there. The big one we went over on is the clothing. We do have a sinking fund for clothing, but we totally blasted through that. I think last month we already had went over that budget. This month I was still getting some uniform stuff for Olivia. I was getting her some regular clothes because she just grew out of everything, and it was the same time I grew out of everything too. I am pregnant and I got huge. I know I talked about this in my April update, but I did not realize I was gonna need clothes so desperately. Gosh, I felt like such a slob with my belly starting to hang out in my regular clothes. My pants were getting too tight, so I was getting really uncomfortable in them, and I just needed to bite the bullet and get new clothes. And I did try to, you know, shop around a little bit, get discounts on things, but I did not do anything like going thrifting or anything. I did purchase new clothes and I picked out cute stuff like this little dress. I just love this dress. I've been living in this one. It's just really nice and comfortable. So I ended up getting some clothes from Pink Blush. I got some clothes from Old Navy, both in the store and online. I found a couple of things in store, but most of the stores around here don't have a whole lot of maternity stuff except specific maternity stores. And so with all that said, most of this clothing overboard was me. I was over $328.51 for clothing, and we just don't usually spend that kind of money on clothing. Like usually whenever Olivia grows out of things, I'll spend like $100 at Carter's, but now that she's in school, she has to have a uniform, so it's uniform expenses plus some home clothes as well. So her clothes ended up being, you know, more expensive this way, and also my clothes were pretty expensive. Again, it won't be much of an issue. I was anticipating having to get her clothes, so we had the sinking fund set up for her clothes or just like replacements here and there for underwear and socks and whatever, as Johnny and I need replacements for things, because that's usually how we buy clothes. We're just kind of the people that like keeps things until they wear out and then we repurchase. And so this was a little different, just getting a bunch of new clothes for me, basically a whole pregnancy wardrobe, because even early on, I wasn't even 20 weeks in May, and early on I already needed clothes. So these clothes should last me my whole pregnancy. I may need to get a couple of winter things because I will be due at the end of October. So we'll see how it goes. It's not super cold that time of year, but I will need something. I probably could make do with some of my really stretchy leggings if they're not super uncomfortable at that point, but I'm hoping this is the bulk of the clothing buying for a while. And so for eating out, we were over $101.75, which it's just being careless, going out to eat a couple too many times, and then we, you know, easily go over like that. And now in my category, I did something that was completely against the no spend, but I wanted to do something to like reinvigorate my scrapbook passion because, you know, girl's been pregnant, not feeling great, not had much energy, and I saw this kit club and I wanted to join it. So I did join a kit club. I talked about it on my scrapbook channel, and it's $29.99 every other month. So every other month from here on out, I'm gonna bust my budget, and I'm gonna really try those in between months to stay under budget so that it kind of makes up for that. But it's totally against the no spend. You can see, like, I have tons of supplies. I definitely don't need any more. It's totally against the no spend. It was just something I wanted to do for me, and it sort of will fit into my $25 a month. I'm going to try to make it work into my little $25 a month budget, but it did not work for the first month I did it because I had already purchased some things, and then I was like, yes, I'm signing up for the kit club. I don't care if I'm going over this month. I will just, you know, I'll just deal. So I went over by $15.21 for the month of May, and then Olivia, I went over in her category by $18.02, and that's because we got a couple of little travel activities. I got her a new Color Wonder set. I got her some new crayons and a little sketch pad so that she was plenty entertained on the flights, but also she has stuff to do that was new and exciting while we were on vacation. So I did get her a couple of things, and also May was the last month she did her Scholastic monthly book club through her school. They don't do that during the summer, so it'll pick back up in the fall, and we'll again pick out the cheap books during that time. But for the month of June and July, she won't have that Scholastic purchase price. So she did go over this month, but in June actually she went under. And for household, I was over by $1.63, and you know, that's not that big a deal. I don't really care about that. And honestly, each thing's not a huge deal separately, but all these things add up to make it so we went in the red this month. And you know, the majority of it was the travel expenses. Overall, it was just kind of a lame month as far as the budget goes. I actually filmed my April video near the end of May, so I was not really keeping track on a weekly basis or, you know, a daily basis, whereas before I was really good about keeping track of the receipts. I'd set them by the computer as soon as I got home with them, and then I'd enter them whenever I got on the computer, which is usually that evening. So I would really, you know, keep on top of it and keep it in my mind fresh all of the time. Whereas, you know, I took basically like 2 months off of budgeting, and it's been really hard to get back into it since being back from vacation. So that's something I have been working on. I definitely let things slip a little bit more. And so let's move into the June numbers. Now for June, I did not hit my savings goal, but we did not go in the red. So that's somewhat positive. I was taking some notes, so I have my Apple Pencil. I need to set that down. I'm like swinging it around. Much better for the month overall, but we didn't have near the travel expenses coming out. Some of the things were like we still ate out, we still got groceries, and this was a family vacation. So for the most part, the grandparents paid for the eating out and the groceries for everybody because we paid for the house rental. So it's kind of like we pay for part of it, they pay for part of it, and then it works out in the end, everybody's contributing. But yeah, there were a few days we were at the beach that we had to pay for things. So we did have, you know, some expenses. So for those things, for the groceries, the eating out, and the gas, I just put them in the regular grocery, eating out, and gas categories and not in the vacation category, because whether or not we would be home, we would still be eating out, we would still be using gas, and we'd still be going grocery shopping. So I felt like those expenses weren't just necessarily like, oh, it's part of the travel, but anything like baggage fees, parking fees, and airline tickets and all that kind of stuff that we wouldn't normally spend, that came out of the travel. With that said, let's go down the numbers. For groceries, we were over by $16.25, and again, I don't sweat that much. I feel like $500 a month for a family of 3 in Austin might be a little tight, so I don't really sweat it if it's just over by that much. Now, if we're talking hundreds, like in April, I have a problem with it, but $16.25, that's no big deal. I don't care about that. For housing, we went way over. I've mentioned it in another video, but we finally went to IKEA. You can see the playroom is now fully set up. We do want to get some bean bags or beanbag loungers or something in here so that we can have the TV going sometimes. But yeah, we got shelves for here. We got a couple of little things. We got a shelf for the baby room. In our house budget, we usually have just $50. I went over by $300.80, which means we spent $350 in that category. We had some minor expenses in that category as well. Basically, I spent like $320 at IKEA getting the various things, but I'm so happy to have this room finally set up. I feel like I can breathe in here again. I just hated all of the junk everywhere because my scrapbook stuff wasn't set up, the playroom area part wasn't set up, and now it's a fun room for us to be in and play in. So that was well worth it, and I'd known about this for months. I knew it was coming out for months. I just never could find the time or energy to get over there, and since Johnny was off the whole month of June, I just snuck over there one day and it was really nice. So for my category this month, I was under by $338, and I had purchased 2 more of the Game of Thrones books. I don't know if I'm on book 3 or book 4 currently, but I'm gonna purchase those as needed because I am just in love with that series. Like I said before, the Kit Club came out the previous month, so I'm gonna try to be under this month, and then, you know, in July the Kit Club will come out again. I'll try to be under in August. And so for tech, we were over by $1.66 because we purchased a movie, and it was quite expensive. It was A Bug's Life, and I think it was like $15 or $16 to purchase the movie because Livy wants to watch things over and over again. We're not going to pay the whatever, like the $2.99 or $3.99 multiple times. Like if it's something that we're going to watch more than once, I just go ahead and bite the bullet and purchase the movie. And so we did that. We were over by the $166. And clothing, this month we were over by $39.70, which is getting shorts for me. I went to motherhood and maternity and liked quite a few pairs of shorts, so I just went ahead and got 3 pairs. So now I have 4 pairs of shorts. I don't have to keep wearing them and washing them really fast. I could just, you know, have enough clothes that I can get through an entire week, which up until this point, I really didn't. So it's nice to do that. I really like washing clothes once, maybe twice a week, but I was having to wash more frequently because I didn't have a whole lot of maternity stuff. And then eating out, mostly we ate out while we were at the beach, and then when we came home, we didn't eat out a whole lot. So we were under on that category by $99.92, and the previous month we were over by $101.75. So basically the 2 months kind of balanced out. We were still over by a little bit, but it's not that big a deal. And then now for travel, we had some things coming out, baggage fees, the airport parking, some stuff from SeaWorld, like we got meal plans for Johnny and myself, but we didn't get a meal plan for Livy, so it was including meals for her. So we spent $495.79 in travel, so basically $500 worth of travel expenses for the month, which is not so bad. And then Livy was under by $37, and basically the only thing in the month of June that we paid for was we got her bubble blowing whale thing at SeaWorld. She had seen somebody with it, and we told her early on, we're not going to buy anything today until the end of the day because we don't want to have to carry it around. And she saw this bubble thing at the very beginning of the day, and I reminded her, you know, we don't want to have to carry this around all day. We spent the whole day at SeaWorld. We closed that place down, but when we went to go to the gift shop at the end of the day, I was like, okay, you can pick out whatever toy you want. She goes, I still want the whale bubbles. So she you know, she thought about this, anticipated it all day, and she got her whale bubbles. I just took it out of her little expenses, and it was like $13. So she was super happy with that. I think the last couple months, April and May, she was a little bit over, so it kind of evens out. One of the things I put on here, we got our Prime membership renewed. We really love Amazon Prime. We're going to continue to be Amazon Prime members, even though I'm not really using the shipping benefits or perks right now. We're trying to really cut back on our impulsive purchases, but we use the music. That's like all we listen to in the car is Amazon Prime's free music just on an app on my phone, and it connects to my car. So we use that most of the time in the car. Basically, anytime I'm listening to music in the house, that's what we're listening to. I also use their photo backup, which is free. You get free unlimited photo storage when you're a Prime member. So I have all of my photos backed up through that. You can also order prints and stuff through their photo app and their photo program, whatever it is. But I love that it's just an automatic backup on my phone through the Photos app, and that's just a free perk from my membership. And I was looking into, you know, how much it costs to do some photo backups, and a lot of them give you a limited photo space, but most of them don't give you unlimited, and even if they do, there's a fee for it. If I wasn't doing the Amazon Prime, I'd be paying for a photo backup system every month, and I'd also be paying for a music streaming thing every month. So that's like $9.99 for the music. The photo things range quite a bit. So I think I'd probably be paying like $5.99 or $9.99 for that as well. And so the Amazon price covers that, plus the shipping perks, plus the video stuff. We use Amazon Prime Video for a lot of like free things that Livy can watch. And I don't think you have to be a Prime member to rent the movies. I think you can just do that anyway. But anyway, all that said, we will keep continuing to renew it when we find value in it, but they did raise the price. I think I had budgeted $107 because that's how much it cost last year. And this year it went up. It was $128.82. The $128 whatever works out to $10.74 a month, which is still really cheap. Like that's basically what I would pay for just the music streaming alone. Now, Amazon does have their own music streaming thing because you cannot get all the songs you want with the free service. You have to have the upgraded one, which you pay every month. But I didn't find value in it when I tried the free trial. So I just, you know, I use the free music that's there, and I listen on YouTube for the songs I really want to hear that aren't on there. I'll just, you know, pull up YouTube, listen to it whenever I feel like it. But yeah, I think Amazon Prime's totally worth it. Even with it going up, it's still a great value for us. So we're going to continue with it this year. So I haven't really talked about baby expenses so much yet, but I do have a line in the budget just to put in the baby stuff. It's not set like, okay, we have this much for baby stuff. I just put things on that line whenever, and it, you know, calculates it into the monthly expenses. But we did spend some money on baby stuff in June. I spent $193.97 on baby stuff, and it was getting a really, really nice diaper bag, which I'll fully review for you guys and everything when it comes in. It's on a pre-order right now, so it's gonna take a while. And then I also got stuff for hanging up stuff in her closet. So baby hangers, the little sizing dividers, and that came out of that same expense as well. So again, in June, it wasn't the best month, but we didn't go in the red, which was really good because I hate going in the red. I really wanna see, you know, the savings number climb every month, even if it's not the amount that I really hope that it would be. But I wanted to talk about the vacation. I had mentioned this multiple times. We're not gonna take one next year, so we really wanted to just kind of go all out. We wanted to go to SeaWorld before we had a tiny baby because I really wanted to go last year, and I just wasn't sure she was old enough to enjoy it, and she just loved it. So I'm so glad that we went. I think 4 is a great age to go. And so with all that said, our vacation expense was high this year, $5,964.22 when all is said and done. Basically $6,000 for vacation, but our vacation category next year will be 0. So it does kind of offset, but when you're looking at that we spent basically $6,000 on vacation, I think, gosh, that's a lot of money. Like just looking at the number. But then I think, you know, I really want to concentrate more on experiences and not things. Like we spent the whole day at SeaWorld. It was a great time. I got so many good photos that we can look back on, and she still talks about it. She just talks about it all the time. She just had such a fun time at SeaWorld. She still talks about the beach, and I want to spend our money like that. I want to do experiences and not things, because things don't really matter. Like, yeah, I love that everything's organized in here and it's beautiful, but I didn't have to spend gobs of money to do that. I just had to go buy like the cheapest shelves I could possibly buy and make it happen. Whereas our vacation, I wanted it to be something memorable. You know, we spent 2 weeks at the beach and it was awesome and we loved it. We'll cherish that family time, and especially having the group vacation, getting more family time because we're far away from all our family. So seeing them that one time a year just means so much to us. That's something I try to keep in mind, is experiences and not things. I want to spend the money where it counts, where we're making those memories. And the Money Guys show, they did something on, I don't even know what podcast it was on, but I'm like watching all their podcasts and catching up from when I was on vacation. And they did one recently where they were talking about like when you look back at your life, you think really positively, even more positively than the reality of it when you're looking back on it. And so like, yeah, traveling with a 4-year-old is tough. There were times that it was not fun, but overall we had a great time. And the more we get into the future, the more we'll look back on these times and love them even more. That's just kind of the tricks our mind plays on us. So experiences again and again are just proven to be the things that you cherish the most later on. So like you don't cherish the stuff quite so much, you cherish the memories and the experiences. So I'm really trying to keep that in mind when we're spending gobs of money on these vacations. And I just look at the vacation expense and I was like, oh, it hurts so bad. And I see that number and I kind of cringe seeing how much we did spend for it. And we could totally have done it much cheaper. And we think, you know, in the future, we may alternate years where we'll do the big beach vacation where we rent the house, or we'll just go down to a Texas beach and spend a weekend there. And it would be so much cheaper because we're not dealing with flights. We're not paying for a rental for an entire week. And so we might do some more like budget beach vacations in the future, but I just feel like time is fleeting and we go to this specific beach specifically because family can meet us there and we can visit Nana and Papa. Those experiences are just invaluable to us to get that family time because we are so far away. Experiences, not things. So the one positive after all this, after all the vacation expenses came out and we kind of got back to normal everyday budgeting life, Johnny ended up transferring the last little chunk of money over to our high yield savings account. So we have the exact amount I want in the high yield savings account. It's actually been in our checking for a couple of months. So we've had, you know, the savings goal met, but now it's official. It's in the right accounts. I'm really pleased about that. I still want to stick to the budget and still want to make more savings happen. So that was just a big budgeting milestone for us. So I think in July, it'll be more of a normal month. So I will talk about that at the end of July and we will go from there. So the last few months have been rough on the budget, but I'm back to, you know, keeping track of things on a better basis. We're done with vacation expenses and we can get back to, you know, really trying to boost up that savings account. And I think that is it. So I would love to know, since we're halfway through the year, how your budget is holding up. I feel like even though we're under our savings goal, we're still making good progress. Overall, we're still doing pretty good. We're still trying to stick to our budget and we're gonna get better on track. And I'm thinking, since we're already, you know, a little bit into July, I'm thinking August we might do a spending freeze. So if you guys want to do a spending freeze with me, let me know. We can talk about it and I can make videos about it in August. So that's what I'm just thinking. I think it might be really fun to do that. So we might do that just to bump up savings right before, you know, holiday season hits. Anyway, I've rambled on enough. I hope you guys like this video. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the playlist down below if you want more budgeting videos. I've done this now for a year and a half of these, you know, monthly updates, and I hope you guys enjoy them. They really keep me accountable, so I really like posting them for you. So have a great day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.